What if the corporations had a team board? And what if those individuals were ready for their next project? And what if we put those folks up on a team board? And what if leaders pulled people off the team board that rounded out the diverse by design teams? Diverse as in the 36 ways we all describe diverse perspectives.
Unless we were able to enlist the white males as a participant in the diversity and inclusion agenda, we were not going to be successful.
While you're recruiting for other identifiers to diversify your workforce, unknowingly you're bringing in diversity of religious expression and belief.
The goal was not to get supply diversity. The goal was actually to keep our costs down. And actually by being transparent, by putting our contracts online, we created more competition, we lowered costs, we sourced innovation, and as a byproduct, we ended up with supply diversity.
This is not a mandate. This is it's sort of more a little bit subtle than that. We're trying to get a pull, and we've had a lot of people already say, well, it only takes 17.5 minutes from a week for me to view all 45 assets, all 45 different learning resources. And again, all of these are in bite-sized chunks, no more than 7 to 8 minutes at a piece.
It was enlightening to the white guy to understand that there are issues that they can help with if they simply listen to the people that they're working with.
This is how we tried to create a culture of delivery. First of all, this idea that it's an individual accountability, no hiding behind the group. Leadership is a group exercise, but delivery starts with you. Secondly, this idea of a competition rather than compliance, and actually how competition can produce greater results rather than attaining a minimum, which compliance will only ever do. And thirdly, something which many of us as diversity and inclusion practitioners may have a hard time with, and that's letting go. The idea actually that you can't do it all yourself, and the results would be worse if you did. You've got to have an appetite for risk, you've got to have a little courage, and you've got to say, you know what, people are going to mess up, but if I set the parameters, I've got to let them try.
How do we know if we're moving the needle? How do we decide if we're actually making change? And I think that the answer to that, at least part of the short-term answer, is, are we able to innovate? Are we able to come up with those next breakthrough ideas?
Title VII actually lays out very specifically that it's a sincerely held religious belief. It does not outline that that sincerely held religious belief has to be understood by other people. There are no requirements around the number of people who believe in that way. So it really is a very specific, when someone comes for an accommodation, it's not that they're coming on behalf of a group, they are coming for their own accommodation based on the way that they interpret, practice, and understand their tradition.
We partnered with hundreds of community organizations who partnered with black architects, female engineers, disabled designers, and we accessed talent that we couldn't have accessed otherwise. And we made them do recruitment action plans. So rather than lobbyers to take 10 people, we actually challenged them as to how they were going to supply double, triple that amount. And we had plans of how they would find and supply that talent.
What if we could incorporate a story-based and technology-driven approach that appeals to the Gen Ys and the millennials as opposed to the classic 90-minute compliance training that we've all been through?